You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it is Wednesday the 10th of July 2024. Welcome to the Diary of a Wannabe Writer. Funny old day today. I'm in São Paulo in Brazil, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not hugely impressed. So very, very long. Well, actually, it wasn't that long a flight, but it just felt like a really long day. So I got up. So I left home at sort of 5:30 p.m. yesterday, and arrived at the hotel about lunchtime today. So that's a long old, that's 17 hours on, which is fine. We do get some bunk time in that, so it's not like I'm literally on duty for all of that time. But the transfer to the hotel was lots of traffic, very, very long. And everything I saw about São Paulo just didn't look very nice. So one of the things I've noticed in America now is that where you get underpasses and bridges, there's usually some homeless people who've made it their pretty much permanent home. Now, that's not under every bridge, but in certain cities it's worse than others. So, for example, in Seattle, it's worse than in, say, Houston. But honestly, driving through today to get to our hotel, every single... so there's a lot of raised roads. They've obviously put the larger, faster roads that get people about quicker. They've raised them. So there's lots of space underneath them. And nearly every bit of space, there's like almost a village of homeless people. And there seems, some are living in sort of tents. Some of them just, in sleeping bags and stuff. And it's so sad, and there's so much of it. And we also get sort of security information about all of our destinations and recommendations about what it's safe to do. And according to our security information, it's not really safe to do an awful lot here. I mean, it's quite depressing. I'm not depressed. I'm fine with it. I've decided to mainly be in the hotel for this trip because there's nothing I really fancy doing. There's nothing close to the hotel. There's no nice parks or anything close to the hotel. So they do recommend being careful about public transport. I've been told not to wear my watch. I've got a nice new Apple Watch, one of the Ultras, and that will be a target. We've been told not to get our phones out to take photographs and stuff because it will potentially be stolen. And apparently it's just such a shame because it looks like it could be an interesting city, but I would honestly say of all the places I've been to in the world, this is the one where I've felt the least safe. So, as I say, I usually go out for little walks. There's a couple of things I do want to do. It's so sad. There is a Starbucks just around the corner from the hotel, so I would like to get a Starbucks Brazil mug if I can do that safely. But I don't tend to use room service because I think it's too expensive, but I don't really have a desire to go out and eat here. There's safety in numbers. I think if some of my colleagues go, maybe I'll go with them. Prices don't seem to be too ridiculous here, but then I guess in a city with such a lot of poverty, you can't have high prices because nobody would be able to afford anything. But so it's only my second time in Brazil. The first time was Rio de Janeiro, and I felt a lot safer in Rio. And I know Rio is also similarly, there is poverty, there are favelas. One of the things it absolutely says in our security information is do not go to a favela, because you can do organised tours to them, but occasionally tourists are captured and they've even been killed before. So I think I'm not going to do that. So there's that. And then the other thing, I literally got off the plane and our bus had Wi-Fi on it, which was nice. And so I'll go through my emails, and I've already had a rejection from one of the two that I submitted to a couple of days ago. So I only have 2 live submissions now. One of them is one of the original ones that I did that I still haven't heard back from. I say still because it's not a bad amount of time not to have heard back from someone yet at all. But there's one of the originals that I haven't heard back from yet, and then there's one of the ones I applied to a couple of days ago, which means I need to do another. And I'll be honest with you, I'm very, very tired. It's 3:00 in the afternoon here, but my body feels like it's 7 p.m. because that's the time it is at home. So I'm going to have a lazy evening. I'm going to do some reading. Probably not going to do some writing today. I'm going to do some tomorrow, though, because I really do want to dive into more of Empress of the Trees. And the other thing I need to do then is another submission to another agent. I'm quite surprised I've had so many, not rejections specifically, but so many responses in such quick succession. But that's cool. At least I know where I stand. At least I can be realistic about my prospects of somebody taking this work and thinking about the English Hikikomori. It's not got a massively, chapter 1's okay, but it's not got a massively punchy start. Whereas the more I think about something like Still Life to submit, the opening chapters have got a lot more to immediately grab your attention. Whereas English Hikikomori, I think, is a builder. It slowly builds, and I am proud of it. I think it slowly builds, and by the end it is hopefully really tense. But that's not necessarily there at the beginning. I also wonder if Freddie is a particularly likeable character, because I've presented him as someone with an awful lot of luck is privilege, that's the word. He's got an awful lot of privilege in his life. So, even though his family have died, he's inherited a ridiculous amount of money, and so it's probably quite difficult to empathise with him. But I think that was part of the point I was trying to make, is that you can be privileged and still have mental health issues. Just having a lot of money and a lot of stuff doesn't make you balanced and happy. But I don't know. I'm never going to give up, because it costs me nothing to submit the book. So I'm going to keep doing so. But I am wondering if maybe Still Life might be a better thing to submit. But I'm still going to keep submitting English Hikikomori, because I've got all the template. I've got everything I need to do it, basically. So I am going to keep doing that. But yes, so anyway, that's me signing off from Brazil. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully having done some actual writing. All right, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.